Free means different things to different people. Free is the laughter we share together. Free are the tears of joy on that special day. Free is the ability to express yourself. Free is the air dancing around your fingers. Free feels good, and so does saving. At First Ontario Credit Union, our members always get free checking, free ATM use, free debit, free deposits, free e-statements, and new members get a free gift. Visit freeisgood.ca and get money doing better for you at First Ontario Credit Union.
Team rankings for this game. You see that June 21st rankings, when they come out, the BCAs were ranked 5th and the New York Gremlins were ranked 3rd. So a 3 against a 5 here.
And of course, a lot's happened since, well, between now and then, but these two teams, of course, still holding their own in the respective top 5, as Ramon Jones is going to go back to work here. So the batting order for the Gremlins will be as follows: the 5, 6, 7 hitters, and Jeff Goolagong, Zenon Winters, and Rafael Flores. The scheduled 3 hitters for the Gremlins here this inning. The BCA's defense looks like this: Josh Johnson in left, Pat Segdahl in center, and Marcus Tan in right. Kevin Castillo's at third base. Jenon Christensen's at short, Kevin Schellenberg at second, and Chase Turner at first. And Lucier Pinto will be catching for Ramon Jones, the flamethrower. 1 ball, 1 strike to count here to Jeff Goolagong. Good matchup here. A supreme power hitter against a good throwing right-hander in Ramon Jones. Now, we all know Ramon Jones, he's got a lot of pitches, but sometimes tends to be a little bit too emotional out there in the circle.
Yeah, sometimes he gets too wrapped up in the game and sometimes doesn't get his way.
1 bouncer over to short. Good play by Jenna Christensen, over in time for the first out of the second inning.
But really does throw real BBs and Ps, whatever you want to call them, in the heat of the game. One of the hardest throwers.
So that'll bring up Zenon Winters. His first look here at Ramon Jones. He steps out of the box late. And Jones challenged him right off the bat, swing and a miss.
Real high drop that Jones came in with there.
And that high drop's tough to handle. It looks like it's right in the strike zone and it remains there, but it has a late dip. Good start around your chest, and it dips down to your waist by the time it gets to you. And not too many pitchers can throw that pitch effectively, but Ramon Jones certainly can. That pitch, swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Beautiful evening for ball here. It's been a fantastic day on day 4, as that pitch is fouled off by Winters, and Flores already taken a beating. We're only in the second inning. We'll get you caught up on some scores as we go through. Been a busy day on all the diamonds here at the Green Valley Sports Complex as Ramon misses down. Very deliberate. Sometimes Ramon Jones will work quick, other times he will stop, pace, take his time, fumble with the ball. That's a chopper, going to be a tough play. Bounces up and just behind Flores in foul territory. That's probably the only blind spot the catcher has is if it goes straight up. With the mask, you can't see it.
Real tough play there.
So the A's fortunate that ball did land in foul territory. And that pitch in there, Ramon Jones wanted that pitch for sure. He's going to take a bit of a walk and a stroll.
And this is the part of the game that Ramon Jones kind of gets too involved with. He needs to stay away from this and just get on the mound and throw strikes.
You're right, Joe. That's one of the things he certainly needs to work as that pitch is bounce up the middle. Good play at second base over, and couldn't hold on to it was Chase Turner, but Kevin Schellenberg showing some great range. Got on that. I don't care who the official score is. I've got to give Winters a hit on that because it would have taken an outstanding play to get him, even though Schellenberg certainly was there in time.
It would have been very close. I would have liked to see what that call would have been by first base umpire Paul Squires.
So that will bring up Rafael Flores as the ball's in the catcher's glove, but the bat is in the bleachers.
We just hope nobody got hurt there.
So we're going to check and see because Winters scooted on down to second base. And I would think that he would have to go back.
Well, was it a foul ball?
Well, that's and you always seem to know the rules a little better than I do, Joe. So maybe you can clarify.
Well, it was a swinging strike, but did he touch the ball? If the bat did not touch the ball, the runner has access to second base.
Maybe that's what the discussion is right now with the boys in blue. Clearly, that is the discussion. Winters isn't about to move off second base.
Winters wants a reasoning there.
As he is being sent back to first base. So it looks like the strike is the strike, and no one was injured with the flying bat, fortunately. And back to work here with a no balls, one strike count to Rafael Flores. And a swing and a miss. So again, who's your Pinto taking his lumps behind there? You saw Flores took a couple of foul balls already off the upper part of his leg, and now Pinto.
And Pinto and Flores, they're certainly not strangers to each other. Played a few times against each other, so.
And that ball's chopped there. That's going to be a fair ball down the left field line, rounding first and going to second. In with a slide. Runner's going to take off at home, and he is DOA. So Winters tried to capitalize on that relay throw and ended up being cut down at the plate. Rafael Flores with a single.
Not a real good running play in my estimation anyway. I would think we'd want to keep sending Winters and Rafael Flores at runners on second and third, just one down. Potentially you can score many ways from third base.
Well, you're probably right, Joe. Unfortunately, I think in the heat of competition there that Winters may have gotten a little bit overexcited and tried to be aggressive or overly aggressive on the base paths, and it was just a good relay throw that gunned him down at home. So that'll bring up Brian Avery with two away here and a runner on second in Flores. And it'll be interesting to see, Joe, if that somewhere down the line, if that run doesn't come back to haunt them.
Runs will be at a premium here.
got to figure there'll be very few opportunities, and the team that capitalize will be the winner as that pitch swing and a miss from Abe.
Another drop ball there. Hitting that outside corner of the plate. Very tough pitch to hit.
And again, fouled off. And you look at Jones, he comes straight at you. He's got a pretty good jump. He goes about 6'2". So with the jump and the little hitch he's got.
Those big wide shoulders coming right at you.
Sometimes a little tough to pick up that ball initially on the release. Doesn't help that he throws gas too. And has a number of different pitches. So got your hands full without a doubt. One ball, two strikes, the count. 2 away. Scoreless ball game. New York Gremlins taking on the BC Athletics. And a swing and a miss. So Ramon Jones gets out of that, despite giving up 2 hits in the inning. So no runs and 1 runner left aboard, but nothing pushed across by the Gremlins, and we will head down to the bottom of the 2nd inning.
At Cooper Tire, we make tires for people, not just cars. Our brand promise is that Cooper Tires perform on the road so drivers can perform everywhere those roads take them, because life is a journey. From the everyday motorist to the most demanding high-performance off-road and motorsports enthusiasts, we have tires for you. Cooper Tire is proudly based in Findlay, Ohio, and we have manufacturing, sales and distribution, technical and design operations within our family of companies in more than a dozen countries around the world. Visit us online at coopertire.com to learn more. Cooper Tire, proud of where we've been, confident in where we're going. The annual Boys of Summer Tournament is held every July at Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time Fastpitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill on the grounds can't be beat. Reduced-rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer Tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at ct16@greenbaynet.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program.
So it'll be Chase Turner to lead things off here. His first look at Roman Godoy.
First baseman number 77, Chase Turner.
Chase Turner 2 for 9 so far in the tournament.
They're going to need a little bit more production out of him. He is one of the anchors on this BC team. Now, this BC team, of course, coming over, I believe they were the California A's of years past and have kind of changed location, and now, of course, they are the BC Athletics and not the California Athletics.
Correct. All relocation over the wintertime.
So back to work now is Godoy. And he floats one in there for a called strike. Of course, Godoy announced his presence at the World Tournament last year. Did a fabulous job, and back again here. That's a nice pitch, but doesn't catch any part of the corner. So a good 1-2 pitch, sorry, a good 0-2 pitch. It's now 1-2. And Godoy, of course, comfortable in making that jump from the junior ranks to the senior ranks. And a hard drop. Down goes Turner. Third strikeout victim for Roman Godoy. And in will step Pat Sagdahl, the center fielder.
Center fielder, number 11, Pat Sagdahl.
So again, another veteran in Sagdahl. He's been around the international circuit for a number of years and been a mainstay on this athletics team here at the World Tournament.
Was part of the U.S. national program last couple of times.
And look looks at a called strike in the outside corner from Godoy. Still looking for their first base runner, are the BCAs. And Godoy comes inside for a strike. So worked the outer half and then busted Sagdahl inside.
That's a nice pitch, though. And that broke 3 or 4 inches. That came in on that left-handed batter and just broke beautifully.
Sure did. The 0-2 nibble on the corner. Close, tough pitch to take by Sagdahl.
Well, considering the areas that he's been pitching, he went outside, he went inside, then he was pinpoint location right now by Godoy.
1-2, hard drop, down goes Sagdahl. So back-to-back strikeouts this inning. 4 of the first 5 batters have been strikeout victims for Ramon Godoy, and it will be Marcus Tan. And Marcus Tan, Joe's having himself a good tournament so far.
6 for 8 so far with 5 RBIs, just ripping the cover off the ball. Everything's looking like a beach ball for him right now.
Unfortunately, that wasn't the beach ball he was looking for. Good hard drop from Godoy.
Well, this will be a good measure right there.
And that pitch from Tan fouled off, so he's in the hole 0-2. It's a scoreless ball game here between the BCAs and the New York Gremlins. Lance Winn alongside Joe Todd. Thanks for tuning into the ISC Network.
Godoy goes right. Godoy goes right ahead and challenges the batters right off the hop. He does not fall behind too far on the count at all. Sorry.
No, he likes to challenge, that's for sure. Godoy would much rather work up in the count than down. And again, some pitchers like to do that. Others are okay about working the count. And some pitchers, usually the veteran pitchers, they'll change it up, and depending on who the batter is, will decide whether or not they're going to challenge you right off or if they're going to work around you. So a good waste pitch from Godoy runs the count to 1-2. So far, Godoy's been dominant. And a swing and a miss. So striking out the side is Roman Godoy. Nothing doing for the Athletics in the bottom of the second. They go down 1-2-3, no runs, no hits, and nobody left aboard, not even a sniff. And we are scoreless through 2 complete innings.
For all your team uniform and equipment needs, fastball, slow pitch, and hockey, for players and teams, make sure you visit Corbett's Source for Sports on the South Service Road in Oakville, Ontario. There's a lot of deals to be had on all kinds of equipment. Thank you to Paul Hurd and Corbett's Source for Sports for their generous sponsorship of the broadcast program.
The law firm of Fireman Steinmetz Dea built its reputation on getting fair compensation for victims of serious personal injury or catastrophic claims. With a combined 90 years of experience and a fierce dedication to achieving results, Fireman lawyers have recovered millions of dollars every year for our clients. Whether you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident, a slip and fall, or as a result of any other act of negligence, when we represent you, we're committed to getting the results you deserve. With the lawyers at Fireman Steinmetz Dea, you are not alone. Contact us through firemanlawyers.com for a free consultation. No legal fees are billed until you receive your settlement. We thank Jack Fireman for his generous sponsorship of the broadcast program.
So in the top of the third, it'll be Nick Mullins, the number 9 hitter. And back to the top of the shop in Matthew Roy and Ladislav Malarzuk. So as you can see, Joe, the shadows creeping across the infield.
Very hard on that second baseman, first baseman combination and the right field right now.
So Jones missing up to Mullins for the first pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. And a good drop from Ramon Jones. Swing and a miss by Mullins. Count even now 1-1. That pitch a 2-hopper or 1 big hopper to Schellenberg, a little shovel pass, and there's 1 away.
Now batting for the New York Gremlins, the left fielder.
That'll bring up the leadoff hitter in Matua. He reached base on an error in the first inning, and that's where he remained. So Jones here, working on Wah. A good matchup here. And Wah squares the bunt, pulls it back, and the count now will be, I believe, 1-1. And a good pitch inside on the hands, just fouled off by Matty Wah. And of course, Matthew Wah, Joe, a very important part of this Gremlins team.
Exactly. He's the little spark plug for this team. He'll go and spray the ball all over the place. He actually is a good, strong pull hitter, but if you give him that outside pitch and he can get his bat on it, he won't be afraid to drive it to left field.
Good hard pitch, busted him inside. That'll run the count even at 2-2. So Jones taking his time, taking the sign. And comes with a pitch. Wow, fouled it off. I think it went off the ground, off his back, and then shot its way to the backstop.
He's out looking for it, too.
I was looking around to see who tapped him on the back. Remind our viewers, stick around. It'll be the Toronto Gators taking on J&B Painting following this ball game, but a good one brewing here as we are scoreless in the top of the third inning. 1 away. And Ramon nibbling on the inside corner and clearly wanted that pitch too. Unfortunately, that I haven't seen that work yet, Joe. The whole hands on the hips thing. I haven't seen it work.
It's not a great selling feature.
No, and I've yet to see an umpire go, sorry, I'm scared.
Yeah,
and he changed the
I missed
call.
one.
That's right. So full count now. And that pitch is a high chopper, going to be a tough play. Ramon Jones barehands it over to first in time. A good play from Ramon Jones to get the speedy Matua.
Took advantage of that 6'2" frame you were talking about earlier. Jumping off the ground, a good lateral jump.
And he didn't have a fraction of a second to spare as that ball hung up there. So not only can he throw the ball, but he can field his position as well. Ladislav Malarzuk steps in. He was a strikeout victim in the first. His second look as Jones bounces one outside. Plays like that, Joe, sometimes can change the complexion of a ball game. You don't get that, or you make a bad throw, goes down the line, and there's a runner in scoring position. Next batter comes up, and when you thought you were cruising along in an inning, all of a sudden you're down a run. So,
well, that type of play just perks the whole team up, really. Infield just has that much more respect for his pitching style, but his defensive style, too.
Ramon Jones, of course, not afraid to come inside on anybody. And that's part of what you have to do as a pitcher. You can't be afraid to throw inside to anyone. And Jones clearly not afraid. The 3-0 is a ball, and Malarzuk with a free pass down the first base. Important here for Ramon Jones to stay composed. You got to figure you're still in good shape here. There are 2 away for Blair Ezekiel.
This is one of the weaknesses in his game as far as I could see.
Well, it's the mental aspect of things, and he's gotten a lot better as Ezekiel swings through for strike 1. Gotten a lot better at containing his emotions, and it's okay to have some flair, and everyone likes a little bit of flair. You just can't let it affect your composure and affect the way you throw the ball. Your team's depending on it.
Emotion is a good thing from a ball player, but portray it properly.
So that pitch bounced outside to run the count even at 1-1. Blair got caught looking in the first. And that pitch, a chopper, Ramon Jones tried to barehand that one, didn't work out. So it was going to be a tough play anyway. But might have been a good idea to leave that one.
Yeah, that's when you need a little bit of communication. I'm giving a base hit.
So you're nice to Mr. Ezekiel, giving him that base hit, but I do agree with you. I think it would have been a tough play to get him because it wasn't hit very hard at all. So Matt Palazzo now will be the batter, and there'll be a bit of a conference here as time for the coaching staff to come on out and bring in the infield. So it looks like the meeting is adjourned. These two teams have played before, Joe, but the Athletics haven't had much success with the Gremlins in the past.
Yeah, they finally took a long losing streak against the Gremlins in 2014, beating them in Kitchener, an extra inning game. They did not play in each other in last year's tournament in South Bend.
So Jones missing outside to Palazzo. Of course, Matt was a guest up here with our own Chris Abbott in last night's ball game that was power interrupted as the rain came, and Jones nibbling on the outside corner but not getting any calls now, and not a big surprise when
I like the call-in part of the show between Palazzo and Abbott. The conclusion, that was my favorite part of the game.
bad pitch in there for a called strike. So I'm not sure if the scorer called that an error or he did call that an error. And Palazzo tried to hold it back, but I think he may have gone around, but says third base umpire Ed Oliver. So the count now 3-1. So Jones cruising along at one point in time. Now with runners on first and second, 2 away, and behind in the count to Palazzo. He's got to bring it. And he does. Palazzo gets a piece of it. And it's a full count.
Gremlins stranded a runner at second base last inning, so you got to take advantage of the situations when they arise.
That's what good teams do, and that may be the determining factor here in this game as that pitch is lifted out to deep left field. It's drifting foul out of play. So Palazzo got a good piece of that, but wasn't able to keep it between the lines. So we'll do it one more time with the count full to Palazzo. Matt flied out to center field to end the first. And that pitch again. So Palazzo working hard here, making Ramon Jones work hard. Throw a lot of pitches in this at-bat.
Again, Jones is coming in challenging me on the hands. Something that Palazzo really probably doesn't really like, but it's a 3-2 count now, so we got a real good battle going on.
And Jones missing down, so the bases are loaded as Palazzo works a 2-out walk. Second walk of the ball game given up by Jones, and that'll bring up Jeff Goulagon, the veteran center fielder, with the bags full.
Well, second walk of the inning, really.
Well, it is the second walk of the inning. It's also the second walk of the game.
But walks do come back to bite you.
They do, and they could here as you've got a really good hitter in Goulagon up there as he swings through for strike one. And had a notion as Jones went to the outside corner. And the count now 1-1. We are in the third inning here. Scoreless ball game, Gremlins threatening. Bases loaded, 2 away. And the 1-1 in there for a called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jeff Goulagon.
Nice pitch location there by Ramon Jones. Right down on the outside corner and the outside portion of that plate, that right-handed batter.
Taking a little longer to take the signs. Goulagon steps out of the batter's box. One-two, swing and a miss. So down goes Goulagon. Jones gets out of it. And the BCAs leave the bags full as we have played 3.5 innings of scoreless ball here at the Green Valley Sports Complex.
First Nations Payment Systems strives to deliver innovative and secure solutions that benefit merchants everywhere. We can help you decrease your costs and increase your revenues. With more than 1 million merchant locations using the First Nations Payment Systems platform worldwide, you can't go wrong by making the switch. When you partner with First Nations Payments, your clients will benefit from our world-class payment experts, support staff, and cutting-edge technologies. To learn more about how First Nations Payments can help your organization, contact us through our website at firstnationspayments.ca. We thank First Nations Payments for their generous sponsorship of the broadcast program.
Think about the greatest tournaments and championships played in fastball. Remember the players who have been at the highest pinnacle of our game, like Adam Folkard and Andrew Kirkpatrick. Gorilla Gold was there helping them win. What has been a closely guarded secret by the most prominent players is now available for you. We're ready to give you a hand to play at your best in all conditions. Visit us online at GorillaGold.com to order your Gorilla Gold products today.
So here we go here in the bottom of the third inning. It'll be Lucier Pinto followed by Josh Johnson and Jenna Christensen, the 7, 8, 9 hitters for the BC Athletics. As Ramon Godoy with a nasty changeup to Pinto. That pitch is lifted out into shallow right, and Winters, a few big long strides, and he's under it, makes the grab, and there's 1 away.
Still not a blemish on that BCA score lineup card there yet.
A little tough to see out there, you can tell. Even the first base and right field, second baseman, who's got some shade. But Winters out there in right, be looking right in at the sun. Coaching staff down the first baseline looking in at the sun. So tough to see now. It'll be Josh Johnson steps in. And Johnson's been hitting the ball well here in this tournament.
Johnson was one of the gentlemen on Sunday that in that 17-0 over Ray Rays from Houston. But if you boys can see that barn in deep center field on your camera shot, he put it off that side wall out there, so that's a good shot.
That's a good, healthy shot is right. As he's behind in the count now, 0-2. Godoy with a hard drop. They're going to appeal. Did not go around. So Johnson still has some life here with a 1-2 count. And come with a rise ball, and Johnson got a piece of that. So the count will remain at 1-2. As soon as we can, we'll get you some scores. What happened earlier today. It's been a busy day 4 here, competition. And Godoy rears back and missing up. So a good 1-2 pitch. Not a bad place to miss, as that'll run the count even at 2-2.
Nice to have Josh Johnson batting in the 8-hole. Big, strong batter for this team.
And time called. So Johnson will step out and step back in. And down goes Johnson, caught looking. Not happy with the call and has more than a few choice words. Not going to help you, though. You still got to head back to the dugout and grab some pine, and that'll bring up Jenna Christensen, shortstop.
And you still have to come back to bat again, too.
That pitch fouled off the back screen. So the diamond getting close to being entirely engulfed in shade. And that will certainly help the fielders. And that pitch missing up. As you saw Christensen square a bit and threaten to lay one down, and the corners pulled right in Avery and Palazzo. From Godoy, missing up and out. Good crowd on hand here. I know you can't see it on your screen, but that's a beauty change. That's dipped in there for a strike. Count 2-2. Bleachers are all full here in this diamond, and pretty much every diamond's got a healthy number of spectators. That pitch, a slow roller, going to be a tough play over to first in time. So a good play from Brian Avery. Gets Jenna Christensen just barely. And that will do it for the A's. Down 1-2-3, no hits, no runs, and
If a man runs for president, interviews for a high-level job, or needs a good table at a smart restaurant, chances are he'll be wearing a suit. Mr. Ned is your custom tailor in New York City. Located at 137 Fifth Avenue, we provide our clients with the highest quality custom suits at affordable pricing. Our range of fabrics is second to none and will fit the needs of any well-dressed professional. Whether it be everyday business attire or a special occasion, we have the ability to make you a man of distinction. Visit the store at 137 Fifth Avenue in New York or see us online at mrnednyc.com. We thank Mr. Ned and Varn Matosian for generously supporting the broadcast program.
Murphy's Fish and Chips is not only a great place to get some of the best seafood in Canada, but is also one of the best fastball sponsors in the game. Voted Nova Scotia's best fish and chips by Eastlink TV, Murphy's is a family institution since 1996 and a proud fastball sponsor of many Canadian and ISC championship teams. Open 7 days a week. Come join us for our famous English-style fish and chips or any of our daily specials. Murphy's is located at 88 Esplanade in Truro, Nova Scotia. We thank Dave T. Anderson and Murphy's Fish and Chips for their commitment to fastball and the broadcast program.
So through 3 complete innings, we've got a scoreless ball game, and Joe, you got to figure this is going just as you thought it would.
Exactly. We said it was going to be a real low-scoring game and just a real good pitchers duel between the two Romans, Ramon Godoy and Ramon Jones. So the battle is showing here. We got the 5 strikeouts for Jones, and we have 6 strikeouts for Godoy with 3 complete.
So we want to thank Murphy's Fish and Chips for their support of the broadcast program. Thank you very much for their ongoing support. They've been with the program for a number of years, so thank you very much from all of us here at the ISC Network. We wouldn't be able to do it without you. So Zenna Winters now, the 6, 7, 8 hitters for the Gremlins, left the bases loaded last inning. And we'll see if Ramon Jones can't settle in here. Settled in, got the first 2 batters, and then struggled. Back-to-back walks. Well, a walk, a single, actually an error. Unfortunately, didn't help his cause, and a walk, and then got himself out of it with a strikeout. Big swing and a miss from Winters. May have just got a little piece of that. Winters singled in his only other at bat, but ended up being gunned down at the plate on that play in the second inning. As he had a notion there, and they're going to check down. Looks like he did not go around, as the count is 2 balls and 1 strike.
Pinto seems to be struggling with Jones's drop ball this inning.
And the pitch from Jones, missing. Let's try to get a little focused, okay, about task at hand. Sometimes we tend to lose that, but back on track here as Jones missing down. So Winters is going to hustle down the first base with a walk. They'll appeal it. No, he didn't go around, and a lead-off bases and balls for Zenon Winters. We'll set the stage for Rafael Flores. And Flores ended up hitting a double in his last at-bat, but of course was left stranded. So Flores squares, pulls it back, and swing and a miss. And I found Flores is one of the few players that can do that effectively, Joe. It's not always easy to get the bat out and then pull it back and still be able to bring it through the zone in time to get a hit.
Very quick hands and good turn of the wrist there, as we talk about at batting clinics.
That pitch is driven out to the gap in left center. That's going to find its way off the wall. Rounding third, and coming in to score will be Zenon Winters. Back-to-back doubles for Rafael Flores, and the Gremlins lead this one 1-0.
Well, that leadoff walk come back to haunt Ramon Jones in that 4th inning, the first run of the ball game.
Gremlins, the third baseman, number 33, Brian.
So Brian Avery will step in now with a runner in scoring position and nobody out here. So the bottom of the order, mid to bottom, doing the job here as Flores 2 for 2. And Zenon Winters 1 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. So Brian Avery now was struck out to end the second with a chance here to, at the very least, advance the runner and get him to third base. And maybe make it easier to bring him in by Nick Mullins as he lifts that one way up and out of play.
Gremlins seem to be finding their timing on the Ramon Jones release of the ball right now. Second time through the order here now, catching the bottom part.
Certainly not fooling too many at this stage, as he took something off and a big cut there from Avery, but not able to keep it in fair territory. So finally the diamond covered now in complete shade. And I'm sure the right fielders are happy about that as Jones comes back inside. This is up and in.
Jones got Avery on that outside drop ball last time, so.
And he comes with a high drop, gets away from Pinto, and scooting down to third base is Rafael Flores. So a chance here for Avery if he can find some green to potentially pad the lead and cash in another run. 1-0 is the score here for the Gremlins. They pushed a run across. Back to work, ground ball shot through the right side of the infield, base hit from Avery. Another run comes in. So Avery with an RBI single cashes in Flores, and it's 2-0 for the New York Gremlins.
Avery taking that outside pitch on the outside corner of that plate, driving it over to right field, driving in that very important second run of the game.
So Nick Mullins, the number 9 hitter, grounded out and potentially squared, pulled it back, and you got to figure if you're the Gremlins, you want to keep your foot on the gas. As Mullins squares, pulls it back, squares again, and takes. That pitch missing in, and now Ramon is really upset. And will take a little bit of a long stroll.
Maybe should have had Snickers.
That ball's a chopper, fielded over to second and over to first in time. So a double play there. 6-3. And just like that, Avery is erased. There are 2 away, and that will bring up the leadoff man, Matuwa. So certainly a good play to get Jones out of the jam. Now they've already pushed 2 runs across, have the Gremlins, but certainly could have been more so as that ball hung up long enough and allowed Jenner Christensen to finagle it and get the force at second before throwing over to first to double up Avery. Matuwa 0 for 2. Reached base on an error in the first.
Ramon Jones just doesn't have that pinpoint location and not working together with Pinto.
No, and it's hard, and I mean, he's certainly not happy about a few of those calls, and that's going to be the case throughout the game. But it's important, again, veteran pitchers don't lose their composure. And Jones comes hard and down. And not quite sure who he's chirping at, if he's chirping at Pinto or if he's just chirping in general or what, but and again, walking away, I guess Jones is trying to quick pitch. And
Matthew Waugh called time.
Matthew stepped out and wanted some time. And that pitch is in there for a strike. Scorcher of a day today, but no rain in sight. Not a cloud in the sky. As that pitch shot and a base hit for Matuwa around, big turnaround first, and he will trot back. A 2-out single. First hit of the game for Matuwa.
Well, the Gremlins were knocking in the second and third inning, and now they finally come across the board with 3 hits this inning, 2 runs.
So Ladislav Malarczuk will step in. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Was left stranded at third base, that in the third inning.
New York Gremlins, the second baseman, number 24.
And looks like a meeting there. And I'm not sure if the discussion is going to involve balls and strikes. Probably not.
They might call them something else.
Might be, yes. That might be worded a little differently. And we'll take this time to thank Peligro Sports for their ongoing sponsorship of the broadcast program. And don't know, but definitely warrants a talking to, and I think that's going to be it for Ramon Jones, and it is. And it looks like
it should be probably Lucas Mata, you would think. Mata's been their other gun so far this week. 40.
So it is Lucas Mata, number 42, that will come in for Ramon Jones.
Number 42, Lucas Mata.
Lucas Mata, of course, no stranger to the international circuit. He has been around for a number of years. One of the top pitchers, as of course his role has changed as there's a bit of a passing of the guard now with youngsters like Godoy and Emil Mata, who is, I believe, a cousin, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe I'm not sure if he's Lucas Mata's son.
I think they're brothers.
That could be the case too. Either way, it certainly, the skill runs in the family, and Mata now has taken over here in the top of the fourth inning. 2 runs pushed across here by the Gremlins. They lead this one by that score.
Lucas Mata's picked up the 2 wins so far by the BCAs, pitched 8 innings with 17 Ks. Yes, they are brothers. We're getting that confirmation. Thank you very much for listening and calling in.
So Ladislav Malazuk now, big swing and a miss there as Mata starts him off with a rise ball. Runner on first base, 2 away here. The A's trying to stop the bleeding. They've surrendered 2 runs. And Mata comes inside, and it almost hit Mallers. Certainly brushed him back off the plate.
Well, you're putting Mata in a real tough situation here, down a couple of runs, but he's got to stop the bleeding. Hopefully the BCAs can get those bats going.
Mata missing up in the zone with the rise ball. Count now 2 balls and a strike. So we're at that in-between dust time now where it's a little tough to see for some of the ball players. Light should take effect very soon. Runner goes, and that's drifting foul down the left field line and out of play. Good speed on the bases with Matuwa. So back to work now, Lucas Mata. Runner goes, throw down is not handled, bounces out into right field, and Matuwa will find his way to third base. And a bit of an errant throw from Flores, although Pinto, I can't even say that. I thought the throw was good.
I think I gave him a stolen base getting down to second. I gave the shortstop the error on the receiving end.
I would have to agree with you. That looked like it was a pretty good throw from our vantage point, and unfortunately Christensen just didn't squeeze it. So Malazuk now with a chance to cash in a run and extend the Gremlins lead. With a clutch 2-out hit here, and no, as he goes down looking to end the inning and the threat. But not before the Gremlins push 2 runs across. They now lead this one 2-0 the score.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field. Our brand is rooted in creating a unique experience tailored to the specific needs of your team to ensure your performance is at the best level to execute plays. At Peligro Sports, we rally behind our athletes and understand their fight to take their game to a dangerous level. Visit our store at 2200 Amsterdam Avenue in New York City or see us online at peligrosportsnyc.com. Thanks to Jose and Peligro Sports for their support of the broadcast program.
Why do you play? For 100 years since 1912, Worth has been helping top athletes answer that question. Whether it's for strikeouts or home runs, the Worth K-Master 120 is the best ball in men's fast-pitch softball, and there's nothing soft about it or you. Worth is proud to be the official ball supplier to the ISC. Visit worthsports.com for more information on Worth products, including the K-Master.
York Gremlins scored 2 runs on 3 hits. There was one BCA's error.
I'd like to thank Skelton Truck Lines for their ongoing sponsorship of the broadcast program. Of course, Mike Skelton, thank you very much. An avid fastball enthusiast, and of course his Scarborough Force on the diamond here, also part of the Batman. So he's certainly an integral part of the fastball community here. So thank you, Skelton Truck Lines, for your generous donation. And Worth Sports, Worth/Rawlings, of course, making the conversion as Rawlings now owns Worth, and they will be putting their stamp on everything Worth, including the balls. So Worth no more, and Rawlings is the #1. So thank you for your contribution to our program. So bottom of the 4th inning now, and it will be the top of the shop in Schellenberg, Castillo, and Garrity. And Joe, it seems like a while these guys actually have got a chance to hit. Schellenberg, a strikeout victim in the first.
Well, the walks and a few errors in that diamond, they've been out on that field a long time.
So Ramon Godoy goes back to work here and starts Schellenberg off with a strike. Roman been doing a very good job here, keeping this lineup in check. First time through the order, sent them down 1, 2, 3, and has done that for the previous 3 innings. And back to work here in the 4th. Gassing that up, but missing with a rise. 2 balls, 1 strike to count. Stick around. Big ball game coming up after this. Toronto Gators taking on J&B Painting. And that ball is a 1-hopper, chopped to Nick Mullins at short over to first in time. So 1 up, 1 down. 6-3 on the putout. And that'll bring up Kevin Castillo. Matchup for the next ball game, we'll see Robbie Schweier taking on Sean Cleary. So 2 good throwers. It'll be interesting to see if Schweier can elevate his game. We know what Cleary's going to have. He's always got top-notch stuff. The question is, can Schweier keep his team in the ball game long enough to get to Cleary? So that will unfold right after this one here. That'll be Joe Todd and Chris Abbott that will bring you along with that, as that pitch missing out. Took a little off, and that was a beautiful changeup all over the inside corner.
He's got a great changeup, and his motion does not change one element.
Well, Castillo didn't even move. He had no inclination to even attempt to swing at that. And then he comes with a hard drop 2-hopper to Mullins at short. Wait, and over first in time. So 6-3 again on the putout, as Nick Mullins responsible for the first 2 outs here. And that'll bring up Greg Garrity, the designated player. Garrity, of course, struck out to end the first in his only other plate appearance. We'll see if Godoy pulls the string a couple times. I don't think he gave Garrity a changeup in his first at bat. And there's that changeup as he starts him off with a strike. And a swing and a miss. So the youngster Godoy keeping this BCA's lineup in check, and one strike away from sitting down Greg Garrity for the second time. And down goes Garrity, waving at strike 3. So Godoy continues to be a thorn in the Athletic side as they go down 1-2-3, no runs, no hits, nobody left aboard, and we're about to do our slide to 5 here with the New York Gremlins leading 2-0 the score. And you got to figure, Joe, that the way Godoy's throwing the ball, it's going to be awfully hard to get 2 runs up on the board.
Well, Godoy's been, as we talked earlier in the game, he's been challenging the batters, going right after them early in the counts, and that's been his plus right now. They're getting down in the hole, and then they have to swing, and they're forcing him into that strikeout situation. Godoy with 7 strikeouts in that first 4 innings.
So Godoy's been good, and Lucas Mata's come in and taken over for Ramon Jones. And he was able to get Ladislav Malarczuk looking to end the 4th when the Gremlins put up their 2 runs. So Blair Ezekiel now will step in. He's struck out and singled. So I believe, though, that I'm not sure if they did score that an error and not a hit. Either way here, with his first look at Lucas Mata, now him and Lucas Mata, I'm sure, have seen each other before. They have both been around the circuit for a number of years. But the first time in this ball game here for Ezekiel. And that pitch is flared up, and an easy play for Christensen as Ezekiel, the first out of the 5th inning.
Mata just took a little bit off that pitch, and Ezekiel just kind of drove that pitch, just a little short pop-up, just enough to throw his timing off.
So Matt Palazzo steps in now. He has flied out and walked. And that pitch floated in there for a strike by Mata. So again, lots of action going on around us. 4 diamonds in play here as that ball is lifted up and will find its way onto one of the adjacent diamonds. And Plaza in the hole 0-1. Sorry, 0-2. And Mata comes in and hits Palazzo on the elbow. So Palazzo will shake it off and walk down to first base.
Now batting for the New York Gremlins, the center fielder, number 27.
That will bring up Jeff Goulagon. Of course, Goulagon had an opportunity with the bases loaded in the 3rd, wasn't able to deliver. And fortunate enough for the Gremlins, they managed to push 2 runs across in the 4th. So a runner aboard here with 1 away. We are in the top of the 5th inning, 2-0 in favor of the Gremlins as Lucas Mata pours in the first pitch strike to Goulagon. So lights have taken effect now, and a perfect night for fastball here as took a little off, that did Mata. And Goulagon couldn't hold back, and he's in the hole now 0-2. And that right, tough hop. Christensen over to second and over to first. Double play. That was a beautiful job there as Goulagon gets into the 6-4-3 inning-ending double play.
Great play by Jenner Christensen to get down on his knees. He charged the ball a couple of steps in front of himself and then fell down to his knees and scooped it and just shoveled it over to second baseman Kevin Schellenberg, who threw a gun to Chase Turner.
Definitely a good job, fundamentally sound to smother that, knowing it was going to be a tough short hop. And he got his body in front of that. At the very least, he was probably going to be able to get the force at second, even if he bobbled it. So a good job there by Jenna Christensen, and a good job by the BCAs to come away unscathed there, as they do not allow a run, and it will be the 4, 5, 6 hitters scheduled for the A's now in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload, and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud Fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton for supporting the broadcast program.
First baseman, number 77, Chase.
So Chase Turner will be the leadoff batter here, and Ramon Godoy has been awfully good. So we'll see if BC can get something going here, Joe. They haven't been able to mount much of an attack. Godoy has been extremely effective. They have not had a base runner in this ball game up to this point.
Exactly, looking for that first blemish on that scorecard.
So Godoy back to work now. And a swing and a miss. And you're right, Joe, when you talk about Godoy, there's not much difference between his changeup and that hard drop that you just saw there. And not sure what the conversation is.
Well, I really think he's just doing Flores a favor. Flores took a hard shot right on his hand, on his exposed hand, so Brandon Bloom, the home plate umpire, is just making sure that the gentleman in front of him who protects him is going to be okay.
Well, probably a wise thing to do. So Flores and Godoy having a bit of an animated conversation.
I didn't call that, he says.
And Flores had a good chuckle, too, as he walked back. Turner 0 for 1. He struck out in the second. Neville will bite. 1-1 the count.
Well, if they know Godoy's going to be aggressive in that count and going ahead, trying to get ahead in the count, then I think the BCAs have to be a little bit more aggressive earlier in the count, too.
Big swing and a miss there. Well, I think they're trying to be, but Godoy has got them guessing, keeping them off balance. And that pitch, a two-hopper, good play backing up from Malar-Zook. Sometimes that doesn't work out as an infielder. You're taught to always be going forward as opposed to backwards, but he read the hop well and got a very good bounce, as you do on this soft infield, and made the play.
Exactly, just a well-timed execution on a great defensive play there.
So Pat Sagdahl now will step in. And a swing and a miss. He struck out in the second. Second inning was the only inning so far that Godoy has struck out the side. And he bounces that one off the backstop. Seven strikeouts for Godoy. Back and missing outside again. 2 balls and 1 strike. So they're going to fish around for a ball that, of course, has some marks on it. You don't want anything too sparkling clean, and took something off, and a swing and a miss from Sagdahl. And the count now even at 2-2. 2-0 in favor of the Gremlins. We are in the bottom of the 5th inning. Roman Godoy has been outstanding up to this point as he bounces another one in, as Flores had to make 3 really good glove saves here in this at-bat to Sagdahl. So Godoy being a little more deliberate now here in these later innings, knowing the importance now of each batter as he tries to dip that high drop in and surrenders the first walk of the ball game that he has. And it's to Pat Sagdahl.
Good plate appearance there by Sagdahl for just kind of Godoy just didn't seem to be on the right page there with Flores. We'll see if they can recoup here.
So Marcus Tan will step in now. Strikeout victim in the second. Second look here at Godoy. And that ball lifted out into right field. Winters going back, making the play and getting it in. So no tag from Sagdahl. Winters, a good job on another ball that was tailing away. And that from Marcus Tan. And there are 2 away for Luis Pinto. Pinto 0 for 1. He's flied out in the 3rd. So important here for Godoy to get out of this without allowing a BC run. That would go a long way as they're just clinging to 2-run lead. And a great snag from Nick Mullins at short on a rocket from Pinto. So some good solid defense played by the Gremlins there. No runs, no hits, 1 runner left aboard. And we have played 5 complete innings, and the New York Gremlins continue to lead this one 2-0.
On no hits. There were no New York Gremlin errors and 1 run.
Great defensive play there by Nick Mullins. Catch that line shot, and that was a shot that really wasn't at even his body level. He had to go down to his waist level or even below that to pull that ball in. So as the ball gets lower and lower on your body, it's that much tougher to catch.
Well, it was a screamer to his left, and he made a diving play, read it beautifully off the bat, and that was the only way, because that ball, if it gets by him, that's certainly extra bases, as that would shoot right through the left center gap, and easily a double or a triple, depending. So it'll be the 6-7-8 hitters for the Gremlins here in the 6th inning. Zenon Winters to lead things off.
Leading off for the New York Gremlins in the top
Winters
half of the 6th inning.
1 for 1. He's single and was gunned down at the plate, being overly aggressive. That in the 2nd inning, and then walked and scored a run in the 4th. He's also played flawless defense out in right field. So Winters having himself a good ball game, and not sure what transpired there, Joe. Maybe you know something I don't.
Well, some of the balls are getting marked up, getting a little bit darker in the game, and the umpires have been instructed to remove the balls should they get to a dark stage in the game. It's just from a safety standpoint in the game. Just remove the ball. If the pitcher's looking for that ball, the ball is out of the game.
Well, with that gorilla goal floating around, that could happen sometime around the 1st or the 2nd inning these days, but it's a whole other can of worms,
Yeah.
of course.
I just wish it was only gorilla gold.
Well, well, I thought that's supposed to be clear and non-marked. Anyway, we're not opening that up.
No,
we're not.
no, we could be here all night.
We could be. Winters now, his first look at Lucas Mata, as Mata starts him off with a ball in the dirt. So important as it was for the Gremlins to keep the A's off the board. The same can definitely be said here for the Athletics, as Mata missing inside. He wanted that pitch. 2-0 the count. They can ill afford to give up any more runs to this Gremlins team.
Yes, they've had a real tough time at Ramon Godoy, so they have to limit their.
That ball is driven out deep and drifting, and you can get out of this ballpark. Outstanding grab by the fan, but a leadoff home run from Zenon Winters. And he has given the Gremlins now a 3-0 lead.
Well, we had just talked about the insurance run that the Gremlins would like to pick up, and they just picked it up by that off-field drive there by Zenon Winters.
Well hit ball by Winters, and having himself a ball game, doing it at both ends. And of course, Mata left that pitch right up in the strike zone, and Winters hammered that over the fence in the power alley in left center. So Rafael Flores now has the privilege of following up that act. And Mata starts him off with a strike on the outside corner. So just a reminder, it will be the Toronto Gators taking on J&B Painting following this ball game here. And Mata climbed the ladder with that rise ball, and Flores chased it. Again, those rise balls always look good to power hitters. They want to just take it, drive it. Unfortunately, where it starts and where it finishes are always two different things. And that pitch reached out, and Flores pokes it just enough to get a little bit of the bat on it. So Mata's way up in the count now, 0-2. And again, so like a good pitcher should do, he continued to bring the rise ball up and up and up, and chasing it was Flores, and he goes down swing. First time in the ball game they've managed to get Flores out. He, of course, had 2 doubles and an RBI and scored a run. So Brian Avery now, who delivered a clutch 2-out RBI single in the 4th to bring in the 2nd run for the Gremlins, steps in now with 1 away and nobody on. Lance Winn alongside Joe Todd. Glad to have you with us here as we roll through day 4 of competition here at the 2016 ISC Men's World Fastpitch Championship. And again, Mata comes with a rise ball. Avery taking all the way there.
Just a little bit high and out of that strike zone.
So Mata being very deliberate. He is a veteran. He works all parts of the plate, and he comes inside and catches the corner for a called strike. 1-1 to count. No one has left the ballpark. As a matter of fact, people still filing in, parking lot full, and going up and setting up on that corner was Pinto. Lucas Mata hit the spot, but didn't get the call, and he's going to go for a stroll around the block before he comes back here to throw. As you can see, Mata checking on second base.
There's nobody at first.
So back to work now. 2 balls, 1 strike to count. And setting up out there and missing again was Mata. So the count now 3-1. And there's no sense in doing that. The umpire, 3-2 the count. No sense in doing that. The umpire's not going to bend because you've gone to the same spot. And way outside. So a walk issued to Brian Avery. And that will bring up Nick Mullins.
for the New York Gremlins, the shortstop, number 3, Nick.
One away, a runner aboard. 3-0 lead for the Gremlins here in the top of the 6th inning. And Mata bends that one in the inside corner for a strike.
4 walks and a hit batsman for the BC A's this evening.
And that, of course, has gone a long way to the 3-0 deficit that they are facing. And a pitch outside. 1-1. Mata taking his time to take the sign. And setting up outside and getting the corner this time. Run the count to 1-2. And up again. So staying way outside is Mata to Mullins. And the count even at 2-2.
Mullins is really trying to pick that outside corner on that right-handed batter, but not getting the call.
And comes right at him, and Mullins fouls that one straight back. So Mata challenged Mullins this time. No more nibbling like he did the previous 2 pitches, and the count remains 2-2. So time called as Mullins will readjust, and now Mata will readjust. So Mullins now will readjust. And then you can bet Mata will readjust.
Well, we got a lot of adjustments.
There's a lot of adjusting going on. And Mata finally ready to work. And he comes with a hard pitch and missed the outside corner. So certainly not getting those calls on the corners is Lucas Mata. He's not too pleased about it. I mean, Ramon Jones wasn't pleased about it either.
Well, and now Pinto showing his frustration back to the umpire, too. Pinto, the catcher.
And groove that one, swing and a miss. So Lucas Mata wins that battle, sits down Nick Mullins, and now he will have to contend with Matthew Waugh.
Number 16, Matthew Waugh.
Waugh reached base in an air in the first, grounded out in the third, and singled and was left stranded at third in the fourth. So 1 for 3. Runner aboard, 2 away, and that pitch from Mata missing down and in. Mata going to the outside. Pardon, that's called strike. Matty Waugh says that was up and out. And now nods. I won't say an appreciation because I can't imagine that Matty Waugh was happy with that. But very rare to see him question a call.
One last stamp for the Christmas card list.
And Mata comes inside and missing in tight. 2 balls, 1 strike to count. Top of the 6th inning. There are 2 away and a runner aboard. Two runs have come in the 4th.
Well, this is the time of the game where, the aspect of the game where I'd love to see the 20-second clock in the play. Both Mata and Ramon Jones don't get their call and they just delay the game that much more.
Well, they are good at that. That's for sure. As that pitch in the corner for a called strike. So Wah steps out, steps back in. And Mata's back to work here. 2s across the board. And he comes right in there, and gone is Matthew Wah on a good pitch from Lucas Mata. And down go the Gremlins, but not before. A leadoff home run from Zenon Winters has given the Gremlins a 3-0 lead.
Sometimes people worry about asking for help because there can be a stigma around mental health problems.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
They might believe that asking for help means admitting that something's wrong.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates.
Some people worry about how others might see them.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates.
Asking for help means that you want to make changes and take the first steps towards better mental health.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
We should celebrate the courage it takes to speak up and make changes.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates.
Getting help is part of recovery.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Mental health isn't something you need to keep to yourself. Talk to a friend. Trust your teammates. You're not alone.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
The first steps may be the toughest, but knowing where to look for help is a good start. Community mental health organizations like the Canadian Mental Health Association or Mental Health America offer resources and programs that can help you. Visit cmha.ca or mentalhealthamerica.net to find a branch in your community.
And remember,
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
The New York Gremlins in the top of the 6th inning, they scored no runs on no hits. There were no BCH errors and 1 runner left on base. After 5.5, the score: New York Gremlins 3, BCH 0.
So, as predicted, a good ball game going on here. 3-0 to score in favor of the New York Gremlins. We are in the bottom of the 6th inning, and it'll be the 8-9-1 hitters scheduled for the Athletics here. And Josh Johnson, Jenner Christensen, then back up to the top of the shop in Kevin Schellenberg. Be interesting to see now, Joe, as twice through the order almost, once Johnson and Christensen go. It'd be interesting to see what adjustments these hitters make and what adjustments Roman Godoy can make.
Well, they seem to hit the ball a little bit crisper last inning with that fly-out ball to Zenon Winters, and then that nice line drive catch by Nick Mullins. So we'll see if BCAs can stay on a roll. Roman Godoy missing on that outside corner.
So along a bit of a conference there, and I think that's a good thing as Flores, of course. It's an important part of this ball game, wants to make sure Godoy, the youngster, is on the same page as he comes with a hard drop inside corner. That's a tough pitch. Not too many guys are going to be able to do much with that. And Johnson didn't even take the bat off the shoulder, so that tells you. Count now, 1 ball, 1 strike. And that pitch too far inside. 2-1.
Godoy falling behind the count, 3-1.
So in there for a called strike, and now the count's full. And Godoy in there for a strike. Johnson trying to beg a walk. Instead, he will make that slow walk to the dugout. Turn the K the other way. Second time he's been caught looking, and that'll bring up Jenner Christensen, the number 9 hitter. So down to their final 5 outs as a beautiful changeup dropped in there by Godoy. Christensen in the hole, 0-1. And a swing and a miss. So Godoy on top quickly, 0-2 the count.
Well, that's what he has to do to stay aggressive in that count, get ahead. He fell behind on Josh Johnson and was able to catch Josh Johnson stolen or frozen on one pitch.
So again, Florida's doing a good job of some groundskeeping work, and I won't say killing some time, but certainly giving his pitcher a little bit of a break. Christensen 0 for 1. He grounded out in the third. So Godoy has had some success here against these A's, and that's a slow roller fielded by Malazuk over to first in time. So 4-3 on the putout to get the speedy Christensen. And that will bring it back to the top of the shop in Kevin Schellenberg. Schellenberg 0 for 2. He hasn't been able to solve Godoy either. Struck out in the first and grounded to short in the fourth.
A good play there by Malazuk to charge that ball. That was the only way he was going to get Jenner Christensen at first base. If he would have sat on his heels, Christensen would have been the first base runner to touch over there.
Well, he charged it and still barely got him, so you're absolutely right, Joe, on that count. And again, another meeting, and Florida's doing a good job of handling his ace in the circle. And Godoy just missing. Pitch looked pretty good, not quite sure. Guess it was up in the zone, according to the home plate umpire, Brandon Blum. And that pitch is in there for a strike. So the count even at 1-1. Down to their final 4 outs are the Athletics. They need a little spark here. Need a base runner. As that pitch missing out. They've only had one base runner this ball game. And nibbling inside was Godoy, so that'll run the count now to 3-1. So Godoy certainly doesn't want to lose Schellenberg here. Nobody on. And that ball driven up to center field, but tracking and making the grab is Jeff Goulagon to retire the side. So once again, 3 up, 3 down. Go the BC A's. Nobody left the board, and we're taking it to the 7th now. 3-0 in favor of the New York Gremlins. And there'll be a last chance for the A's down to their final 3 outs. So a good ball game here, Joe, for sure. You would have liked to have seen, or I would have liked to have seen, Ramon Jones go just a little bit longer and sort of smooth out the kinks and maybe give his team, keep his team just a little bit closer. I mean, he was only down a couple of runs, and it just seemed, though, that coupled with not getting the calls, that he was getting a little frustrated out there.
Again, he just didn't have that pinpoint location that he sometimes has. The strikeouts were there early in the game, but then he started to tire a little bit, I feel. In that 4th inning, he had the walk and then had a couple little defensive error there by the shortstop, Matt Mullins, and everything seemed to unravel that whole inning. So that was when that pitching change was made.
So it'll be the 2-3-4 hitters for the New York Gremlins, and Ladislav Malarzuk will be leading things off here. He has struck out twice and walked. He has played outstanding defense at second base for the Gremlins, and as a team, the Gremlins have played flawless D. As Mata starts him off with a ball down. Beautiful weather today as opposed to the rain we got last night around this time, and then the lights went dark. It's quite an adventurous evening, but...
And before the game was even over, the lights went dark.
Well, yeah. Mata back to work, looking for that outside corner, gets it. And Malarzuk saying, well, he doesn't need any more help, so don't extend it. But that pitch looked like he cut the outer part. And Mata comes back. Looked like it was right down Broadway, but apparently Broadway's on a different block. Because that was called a ball, and Mata's going to take a little bit longer. And a pitch, swing and a miss. Actually, I think he just got a piece of that, did Malarzuk, and it went off of Pinto. And you always take your hats off to the catchers because they're back there, and man, they take a beating, all those foul tips, and you hear all the remarks and all the comments. And
He's certainly all bruised tomorrow morning, or that one yet.
So, catcher is certainly a different breed. They've got to have some tough skin, that's for sure. So back to work now is Lucas Mata. And that pitch, swing and a miss. So down goes Malarzuk. Third time he's been a strikeout victim here today. And that will bring up Blair Ezekiel. Ezekiel, 1 for 3. Caught looking in the first. Reached base, well, as they say, an error in the third. And popped out shortstop in the fifth. Blair, a long-time world-class ball player. Pretty much can play every position. Certainly in his prime he could, and now I think his schedule's been lightened just a bit, but he's certainly a high enough caliber player to be here at the World Tournament and making a difference. That pitch missing in, so 1 ball, 1 strike to count to Blair Ezekiel. Of course, brother Bradley playing with the 3-time defending champions from Hill United.
Kyle also here this week.
So the trio of Ezekiel brothers. What might be the first family of fastball, at least on the men's side. So 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 away here. And that pitch, good one from Mata down in the zone. And Ezekiel chased it and couldn't do anything with it.
Well, that drop really is effective. It had dropped 6 to 8 inches there.
And bent in there for sure. That's a good pitch from Lucas Mata. Freezes Blair Ezekiel. So turn that K the other way, and they're 2 away for Matt Palazzo.
The first baseman, number 4, Matt Palazzo.
Pretty tough to argue that pitch, Joe. That looked like a pretty good pitch from Lucas Mata.
Well, Blair is pretty close to that plate too, so umpires are well aware where their batting stance is.
That pitch bounced in there for a first pitch ball. 2 away here. If the A's are able to retire Palazzo here, it will will be the 2-3-4 hitters scheduled in the bottom of the 7th inning to face Roman Godoy. Trailing 3-0. The Gremlins, of course, would love another insurance run, but they may just be more focused on the next 3 outs at hand here as Mata comes inside for a strike. And that pitch fouled straight back, so Palazzo got something that he really, really wanted. Wasn't able to do anything else with it except foul it off. You can bet Lucas Mata's not going to feed him that sandwich again.
Yeah, that pitch will not be returning to his repertoire.
So the 2-2 the count. 2 away. And Mata missing down with a drop. So the count full to Matt Palazzo. And Matt seemed to enjoy his time up in the booth as much as he enjoys his time on the diamond. And that's always a good thing.
He did a real good job. I was quite impressed last night for his first time.
That pitch driven the other way, going back, and you can get out of the ballpark. I'm not sure if that's a home run or if it bounced.
I think it bounced over.
So it looks like that will be a ground rule double on a hard hit line drive from Matt Palazzo. His first hit of the ball game will be a double, and that keeps the inning alive for Jeff Goulagon.
Now batting for the New York Gremlins, center fielder.
So maybe not focusing on insurance run initially with 2 away, but now with a runner in scoring position and a dangerous hitter like Goulagon, that's a real possibility. Goulagon, of course, 0 for 3, including grounding into that inning-ending double play in the 5th.
Well, Mata will be extremely careful with Goulagon with first base open in this situation. Obviously, though, he's not going to give him anything too good. Potentially, if you do set up that run at first base, you got the forced play with 2 out.
As that pitch lifted up and stays in fair play, and Luigi Pinto. So a big out for Lucas Mata and the A's. Getting Goulagon to pop out to the catcher. No runs, 1 hit, 1 runner left aboard, and 3 outs to get here for the Gremlins as the BC Athletics down to their final 3 outs. And I think it's safe to say, Joe, that it's going to be vital to get a base runner right off the hop for the Athletics if they want to get in this ball game.
Well, it's the meaty part of that order. Kevin Castillo, number 2 batter, Greg Garrity, number 3 batter, and Chase Turner. All good power hitters in that lineup, but they got a good task ahead of them if they want to try and put a notch on the board here for the BCAs. Roman Godoy has been very effective here.
So Godoy here flirting with a no-hitter, and he's only given up 1 walk. So we'll see here if he can close the door. Sometimes getting the last 3 is the toughest 3.
8 strikeouts and 1 walk up to this point.
So Kevin Castillo to lead things off here in the bottom of the 7th inning. A's trailing by 3.
Number 3, Kevin Castillo.
Remember to stick around. Toronto Gators J&B Painting set to take the diamond right after this game as Godoy bounces that pitch in there for a ball. And not such a bad thing when you get in these later innings. Guys may be sitting on that first pitch heat. Godoy mixing it up right off the bat. And a changeup is bent in there for a strike, and he's been buckling knees with that all game.
And a very nice, effective pitch for him.
Well, he hasn't used it all that often. He's used it sparingly and in the right situation. And that pitch, hard shot, base hit. So leadoff man aboard in Kevin Castillo. First hit of the ball game surrendered by Godoy, and naturally after you say flirting with a no-hitter, there it goes.
So you cursed him.
So Ramon, my apologies. It was me that said it. And Castillo breaks the goose egg with the first hit of the ball game for the A's, and that'll bring up Greg Garrity.
Lance Winn for MVP there.
You know, I'm going to leave that alone. Somewhere down the line,
that'll come
you'll
even.
do something back to even it all up. That pitch by Garrity lifted up to the night sky, and you can kiss that one. A catch, a beautiful grab out there by Matthew Waugh as he goes airborne over the fence to make the grab and rob Greg Garrity of a home run. Man, oh man, that was a highlight in itself.
Great catch there by Matthew Waugh. Eyes did not leave the ball, followed it all the way, backtracked, took it right to the fence, leaped, and then caught it and stayed in the bounds.
So just about to call that one out of the ballpark, and Matthew Waugh showing some good hops out there, as that looks like it's going to be it for Roman Godoy, and they're going to bring in the big man in Andrew Kirkpatrick to close the door here and try and get the final 2 outs. So Garrity with a deep fly, robbed of a home run that certainly would have made things interesting and pulled his team to within 1. Godoy certainly did more than his job. And again, you know, Joe, when you talk about young pitchers, sometimes closing is the hardest thing.
Exactly, yes. It's tough to finish off that game, especially potentially in his own mind. He was well aware that he had a no-hitter going, and then next thing you know, you give up that one, and that little bit of mental strength that you had is taken away from you, and then you find out that, oh, gee, I lost all my focus here. So now Andrew Kirkpatrick has stepped into the game as the relief pitcher looking for the save here.
Well, Kirkpatrick's a veteran, too, and he's been in this situation numerous times, of course. He has been the ace for this team for a number of years, and Andrew's well aware of what it takes to close out ball games, and he'll be in here to face Chase Turner, the cleanup hitter, with a runner on second base, and a good job by Kevin Castillo to see Waugh go over the fence with the ball, but tagged up on the play nonetheless, and he is in scoring position with 1 away.
More and more lately, you've been seeing that Andrew Kirkpatrick is coming out of the bullpen on a more regular basis. Andrew used to be the starting gun and always probably will be, but he's doing a lot more relief work lately.
So he misses first pitch inside to Turner. Turner 0 for 2. Took a little off and a swing and a miss. So a different look. You go with Godoy, who has that devastating changeup. Now to Kirkpatrick, long reach, big, tall guy who has a good hop, and he comes right at you. And that pitch is going to hit Turner. So 2 men aboard will bring the tying run to the plate in Pat Sagdo. So things getting pretty interesting here in the bottom of the 7th inning as the BC Athletics are trying to fight back from a 3-0 deficit in their final at bat down to their final 2 outs here.
BC A's are not going to go away quietly.
So Sagdahl 0 for 1 with a walk. And Kirkpatrick comes inside for a strike. Sagdahl shaking his head, but these guys hover over the plate, and it may not seem like a strike initially, but when you step back and realize, yes, where you are, it is a strike. And Kirkpatrick bends that one over there for a called strike. So time called. He's going to make sure that him and Flores are on the same page as as does Malarzouk. He comes in too. And a crucial time here as the Gremlins trying to shut the door here, leading by 3 in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Well, so important with that runner in scoring position for Andrew Kirkpatrick and Rafael Flores to be on that same page. You just don't want those two runners to advance on a wild pitch or a pass ball.
And that pitch lifted out deep to left, but Matthew Waugh making a good grab out there, gets the ball in quick. So again, Sagdahl put a charge in that one, but wasn't able to lift it up and over the fence, and Matthew Waugh responsible for another out, and that will bring up the hottest hitter on this BC ball team in Marcus Tan, who has struggled today 0 for 2.
6 for 10 right now, though, with 5 RBI, so not too bad of a showing, but having a rough time tonight, you said.
600 batting average, 2 men aboard here. Represents a final out, took something off, did Kirkpatrick, and that pitch fouled out of play. So again, just down to their final out are the BCAs, and you can see they're up there getting some good looks at Kirkpatrick, who's coming in relief of Roman Godoy. Godoy just not able to finish up. And that pitch again fouled off. So Tan is getting some good cuts, but he's in the hole 0-2. Good time for Kirkpatrick to either go with a good waste pitch up in the zone or potentially bounce something that Flores can smother and not allow the runners to move up. But Tan does represent the tying run here. And chase that rise ball. It's a mile high, and Joe Todd might be calling for that one.
I'm just surprised why he would give up a rise ball in that situation. With the 2 runners on base, you'd want that ball to be kind of down, and you don't want to give a rise ball to a good hitter like Marcus Tan.
Well, you see, my philosophy is you go with the rise ball, but you make sure it's rise out of the zone. If you miss with that rise ball, you're going to give someone a chance to take it out of the park. Your philosophy about going low, you're right, guys can't hurt you if the ball's in the dirt for sure.
Especially with 2 out and you got a 3-0 lead.
And he comes with a drop ball, so Andrew Kirkpatrick closes the door. The New York Gremlins close the door as they win this one 3-0 the final and hand the BC Athletics their first loss of the 2016 tournament. And Joe, when we talk about this ball game, a very good ball game, I think you have to give credit where credit's due in Ramon Godoy.
Ramon Godoy had a great evening tonight. Had recorded 8 strikeouts with just the 1 walk on his score sheet, giving up the 1 hit. So he was the major difference in this whole ball game.
So a good ball game here. We're going to take a break and reset, and we'll be back at you. It'll be the Toronto Gators taking on J&B Painting. A battle of 2 undefeated teams, Joe Todd, Chris Abbott. Stick around. More Fastball on the ISC Network.